You're listening to Eat, Play, Sex with Dr. Cat, the place to uplevel that sexy life of yours, with expert talk on sex, love, and nutrition.
Oh, this is really great. So as you were describing this whole thing, I see you redefining the word sex for men too. Because this cultural idea of what sex is, that we're given in society is fast, friction, penetration, goal-oriented, tightening instead of relaxing. And so here you're describing something like a different idea around that.
Yeah, it's true. I don't always speak about that, but yes, it's true. I've been an erotic explorer my whole adult life and then some. And I've had such a wide variety of experiences. So I know that these very I don't know, kind of typical training ways that we have around sex, very pornified, kiss, kiss, lick, lick, suck, suck, fuck, fuck, come, done type of trajectory, can be great. Like, I don't want to take that away from you.
Right.
Like, I've had experiences that follow that trajectory that were awesome.
Yeah.
And at this point in my life, that's this part of my sexual experiences.
Yeah.
But then there's also all of this. So that's why I like to always come back to. I'm never trying to tell you what you can't have, but more expanding your palette of pleasurable possibilities, as I literally like to say. That there often we get locked into very narrow notions of how our sex can be or is supposed to be, and let's expand beyond that. And yes, the truth is a lot of that narrow notion of, I don't know, jackhammer fucking, etc., tends towards the physiological reaction of ejaculation, and that as we kind of break out of that and find that, oh, we're actually not it. I don't just mean like stop start type of a thing, but really engaging more of your full body, engaging more of her full body, allowing your tempo and your movements to not just be defined by, well, you start here and then you just go faster and harder, and as you drive towards one or maybe both of you coming, but rather, again, as you tune more and more into this kind of the subtle energetics of what's going on between the two of you, these little openings and contractions that are happening in the body, your movements can include like moving in and then just like feeling that wave through her, through you, or through the both of you, and then some sort of moving back, and then here, and then
he's doing all these he's doing hand sex on the screen. You can't see it, but it's very erotic. If two hands could fuck better, I don't know.
that we can just when we release the linear notion and of ever more rapid or ever more hard, and we can play more like a symphony.
Oof.
Where contrast is incredible, where slow and subtle and hard and intense can coexist, moving from one into the other based on the moment and the read and the feel of what's happening in your bodies, versus just your idea of, wait, what should I do next? Okay, I did A, B, or C. I should do D next.
Yeah. So you're giving people more of a palette that I feel it supports more of an authentic and dynamic nature of sex versus just fitting yourself into a narrow, which I think perpetuates more of the dysfunctions and the challenges that we see it for men. Versus here, you're saying here's a whole palette. You can have this, fucking going towards orgasm. You can do that. Of course, it's really fun. And it can be this expansive. So finding what's most authentic to you in this moment, because now you have more tools to be able to tap into.
Yeah, 100%. And I will say that I am nowhere near as promiscuous today as I was a decade ago, which was very. But what I can say by experience was the ladies like it. A lot.
Wait, what do they like? Tell me what they like.
um, this a way of engaging sexually, the feedback in response to that. Well, there's the verbal feedback and the nonverbal feedback, and they were both very,
Yeah.
very positive. But even on the verbal side, it was generally along the lines of like, I've never had this kind of an experience before, and
Yeah.
I didn't know I could feel that way, or even like, this is what I always imagined that sex could be like, and I thought I was going crazy, or I thought maybe I'm asking for too much, or blah blah blah. It's just like, I honestly think that women have it, anytime we speak about men and women, the generalizations are the best of, largely the best that we can do. So just keep that in mind. These are tendencies, etc. And my sample size is large enough that I notice tendencies. That I think that women will tend towards just innately being more in this direction, but that they're having this type of a craving, but through their life, this is just not their experience with men.
Yeah.
And so they learn that.
Yeah, I actually have very similar. I have a lot of women and femme in my office who are saying the same thing, who are wanting more and end up tearing up because they want that slower, more present type of making love, but they don't necessarily, either they've tried to communicate that to that partner and it wasn't effective in how they were communicating it to them, or they didn't feel like their partner would be able to do that, or it would bring up shame in the guy because it brought up a lot of their, like, I'm not a good lover, I'm not able to please her. So
I'm not
what might
enough.
I'm not enough.
It's a deep thing. It's a deep thing in so many of us.
Yeah.
So I mean, I want to say, especially to the men watching this, like, dude, this is like, wherever you are and identifying with what I'm saying or not, like, this is not your fault. Like the education that we receive around sex and being a man and women and whatever, not only is it incredibly lacking, so much of it is pointing us in the wrong direction. And if you're anything like me, you've consumed who knows how much countless hours of porn in your life. And what's the primary model that we're seeing there? How much of what you've seen like lines up with the things that Kat and I are speaking about today? Probably none to next to none.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we're getting this constant modeling of a very particular way of being sexual, which again, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with if it were a color on our palette wheel. But if that's the color that we're painting, well, it just gets the paintings get a little boring after a while.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we wonder where the passion went, or where the excitement for sex went. And I think part of it is, again, this idea of how much energy, quote unquote, how much energy sex is supposed to take. But here you're describing a model that doesn't have to take a whole lot of energy. It could be slower, more present, and fluid, but it almost like renews you rather than depletes you.
Lovers, thank you again for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, hit subscribe and head over to eatplaysex.com to connect with me and grab my sexy guides. Because my goal here is to get you to eat, play, and sex better, so you can improve your sex life, which will improve every aspect of your life. Until next time, keep it sexy.